Hello, everybody. This is Lance Tomashiro, and we have an absolute packed house here today. In fact, this is probably one of the most crowded webinars that we've done in the past year. And what we want to show you today is something that Robert and I have been working on for the last 4 years in order to bring something to the market that is simple yet powerful enough to do everything that you need it to do at a price that will allow everybody into the door. And so what I want you to do is I want you to pay very close attention. We're only going to say this once. Make sure that you stay till the very end. Make sure that you stay till the very end because we have something really special in store for you. And what you need to do is close everything down because we're going to show you everything that you need in order to start making money online. And if you're already making money online, then you're going to see probably more than anybody else exactly how powerful the software we're going to show you is and how you are going to be able to leverage it. And it's no secret that Robert and I believe in this thing called membership sites. We believe in passive recurring income, whether that means taking a payment once, whether it means having somebody come into our free membership site, or whether it means having people pay us for a certain amount of time or even forever. We believe that this is the only way that everybody needs to be moving towards in order to make a real income online. So close everything down. Again, just 60 minutes of your time today. You're going to see something that's absolutely going to blow you away. Close down all other distractions that you might have, all windows. You're going to want to take notes and you're going to want to stay till the very end. So if you're ready, help me bring out Mr. Robert Plank by typing in the word membership inside of the question box, because that's what we're going to be talking about. And we're going to show you something that's literally going to change the landscape of internet marketing forever. Help me welcome Mr. Robert Plank.
Awesome. Super happy to be here, Mr. Lance Tomashiro. And, I was just kind of thinking, as we're getting started, as we're getting ramped up here, remember back when you first got online and when you first decided to do this thing like having an extra second or third online income, when you decided to start having an online business? Remember how excited you were and how cool everything was and how there were all these possibilities open to you? Well, I think that along the way, some of us get a little stuck, get a little burned out, get a little, I don't know, just kind of demotivated, get a little demoralized. And I'm here to kind of get you back on track, not just to, pump you up or do some rah-rah stuff, but to show you some really cool and exciting things that Lance and I have kind of put out there. So as we get started today, I want you to stop, all right? I want you to stop, and I want you to stop letting them, and we'll talk about them in a second, dictate when and where you can be, what kind of vacation you can take, how many hours you put into this or that. I want you to stop letting them distract you between one money-making scheme and the next thing. And, well, did you hear that, Squidoo is really hot right now? And did you hear that YouTube traffic is really hot right now? And did you hear that, well, retargeting is really hot right now? And it seems like everywhere we look, there's one thing or another pulling us in a different direction. And that could be good or could be bad, right? It's a double-edged sword. The cool thing about the internet is that the gold rush is still not over. It's still kind of the wild, wild west, but in a lot of ways it's a jungle out there, and if you let yourself get distracted, get taken over, get pulled around by this and by that, well, then you're going to have a bunch of nothing. You're going to be putting in 5% into some project, 10% into some other project, not finishing this other thing. And it's always fun to start stuff, but it's not always as much fun to follow through. But it is fun once things are followed through to actually make money. So it's kind of like there's 3 steps here, right? There's the starting, there's the follow through, and then there's the money part. Most people get stuck between steps 1 and 2. It's always so much fun to think of a name for something, to buy a .com, a domain name for it, to get some graphics made, to go figure out where I'm going to get hosted, to draw all these crazy things, mind maps and, things on the whiteboard. But then we actually have to do it. And that requires kind of a little bit of a change of thinking into, well, I just need to make things as simple as possible, get them out there. It's never going to be perfect, so I just want to have the most basic thing right now and get to where I need to go, so then I can see if this pays off or not. Because we ourselves can always get ourselves so excited about, well, this is going to change the world, this is going to be the next Twitter, but you never know unless people actually use it, unless people actually can find you, unless people actually buy from you. So instead of letting everyone else say, well, here's the pot of gold over here, the grass is always greener. Let's just get a few things done, because the problem is that, well, we both have some common enemies out there. And there are people out there who will promise you this and promise you that. And when you look at it, what is actually done on their end, it turns out that they don't even use things. So, I mean, for example, if someone says, well, I'm a copywriter, I can teach you how to make a sales letter, how to make money on the internet. You look them up and they themselves don't have any sales letters. Or they say, well, what's a really good idea is to run webinars. You go and look them up, can't find them running any webinars. Funny how that is. What's a really good idea? Make membership sites. And it turns out that they themselves don't have any membership sites. So there always that problem, because anyone can say anything they want on the internet. There's always that problem of getting stuck with the wrong person, with the wrong mentor. And I mean, it can happen. And if that's happened in the past, it's happened with me and Lance in the past, it's fine. But let's just kind of keep that in mind, because we don't want you to let things stay half finished. I'd rather, even if something's not perfect, even if something could be better, you get it out there, you get it done this week, so you can move towards the next logical step. You say, I want to teach people about organic gardening. I'm going to make a really simple video series. Yeah, I could make something that's crazy. I could make something that's 50 hours. But what if it had to be an hour, 90 minutes, and that's it? And then next week, I could focus on, getting people to look at it. Next week, I can focus on kind of sprucing up the sales letter. Next week, I can focus on making an affiliate program. But it makes just a lot more sense to me if we're thinking about what you are doing online, what you are doing and what I'm doing and what Lance is doing as a business and not a hobby. We just want to get the shortest path to getting some amount of money, to knowing that anything right now is going to work better than zero, and then scaling it up from there. So, I mean, it's really important that as we get started today, to keep in mind that we need to stop letting ourselves get pulled on this vicious cycle of buy this $5 thing, read about this, learn this, be a student, research that. It's all fine to investigate the next thing you're going to do to make money, because we also get stuck in a position of, well, if something's working, it's tempting to take a break for a year, come back in a year, and then, whoa, article marketing is completely changed. Affiliate marketing is completely changed. Traffic is completely changed. So there's just kind of two ends of it. Is you don't want to get comfortable and kind of erode away, but we also don't want to be such a dang moving target that anything is going to distract us from making money. So it's about us versus them, because they basically can't work naked. And what I mean by that is, for all you know, I'm doing this webinar naked. Now, I'm not, and maybe Lance is, maybe he isn't, but the thing is that most of these people that you see online, and they might be saying, well, here's how to make money. Or they might be saying, well, here's how to set up an affiliate business. Or they might be in some of the niche, like, here's how to trade with stocks. But these average people, and it took me a long time to figure this out, most of them have day jobs. Most of them are exaggerating how well they're doing, how much money they're making. And here's the really scary part, they use old income screenshots, or they just plain lie. Honestly, I looked at a sales letter a few years ago, and I wish I had the screenshot, but it was for some from some seminar. And you go and you scroll, and there's this picture of like all these months, and it's like 120K this month, 200K this month, 500K this month. And I'm thinking, whoa, this person is making millions of dollars a year, so maybe I should attend their seminar. But if you looked at the fine print, it said something like, well, this is a screenshot of somebody in internet marketing. It's look how possible it is for anyone in internet marketing to make this money. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, so you just stole someone else's income claims and hope that no one saw your fine print in order to get people to join your seminar. Something doesn't seem quite right there. Or even, playing games with the math. And maybe if you've been around long enough, you've seen people where the math doesn't add up. Right? Where they say, I just had a $2 million month. And then you look back and you say, but all I see that you've done is sold a $10 product. And sometimes the math doesn't add up. So like, for example, they'll put out something like a membership site with this thing called a $1 trial, right? So someone goes and they pay $1, and they get like just overrun with all this stuff for 3 days. And then it hits them for $97 and $97 and $97. And they say, well, you know what I just did? I just made a 30K month income stream from scratch. And you say, well, no, what you did is you made $300. And then they don't tell you things like, well, out of the $1 trial, only about 10% even came through. They just look at this big number, which is basically a lie. The real number is $300. The lie they tell you is, what is that, 100 times what it is that actually it is. Or they'll do things like they'll double dip, so they'll sell all these things on like a monthly site or a payment plan, and they'll project future earnings. So they'll sell like a $200 a month site, and they'll say, well, if someone stays in this all year long, this is a $200,000 launch. Which it's like, okay, that's kind of shady. But then month after month after month, they also claim the income they made for that month. So in a way, even best case scenario, they're still doubling the amount of money they actually made. And I mean, we can go on and on about people who have like, they get together and 10 of them who only make maybe $1,000 a month, they all pool their resources, and every launch they do kind of, they take turns on who kind of gets all the benefits, but then they all claim every single person's income as their own, or people who show like a big screenshot of their bank balance or things like that before making a big purchase or paying out employees. Once again, they take the peak, they show you a screenshot of the peak, and then leave you to assume that that's a typical day, typical week, typical month, when we all know that, well, at least Lance and I know that, well, they kind of put their best foot forward. So there's definitely like a fine line there between juicing things up, jazzing things up, being a marketer, and just flat out lying. And I mean, there are certain lines that you don't cross, but unfortunately, because of the internet, freedom of speech, all that good stuff, anyone can say whatever they want. And even, have you seen the new trend right now is someone says, well, I'm doing this huge launch, here's the deadline, it's closing in one day, they make a bunch of sales, and then a lot of people buy because, well, the doors are closing. But then next week they open it right back up, and it's like, well, the joke was on you because that was just a marketing gimmick. So, I mean, we could, go on and on. We could get ourselves all butthurt, all worked up about, well, this person lied to me and this person did this and that. But if you don't like something, you need to change it. And if you can't change it, then change the way you think about it. So, I mean, just focus on those handful of things that you can change, that you can control, and then we can just move on from there. And I mean, if things happen to you, then you need to either find a way to live with it or make you happen other things. And so for a lot of us, the answer to that is money. If you only had an extra 1,000, 3,000, 10K a month, would that then mean that you don't have to just basically be crushed by all these bills, by all this debt? If you can move into a better place, if you can just basically not have to stress about checking your bank account every single day to see if you're under zero again. So basically, we're kind of all in this together, and I put out this report a few days ago and asked you guys to send in a picture of it printed out, or of you holding it. So many of you, I'm seeing a few names on this call, so thanks for that. And and it's funny how there's always this trend. There's always the same kind of person that this holds up. But I promise that a bunch of women sent in printouts, but the women just showed a picture of the printout themselves. So I mean, we're all here. We're all interested in making money, whatever that reason is, to retire early, have a better life, travel, pay for someone's college education, whatever it is. We all want this thing called residual income. We don't want to wait years to do it, and we've all at some point been sucked into the black hole of technology stuff, right? And we had to figure out DNS this, child theme that, and let me figure out what security plugin I should have for my WordPress site. And Lance and I are here to make money pretty simple, because I mean, you don't want to be an employee, because then you have to wait till you're 65, or I think the retirement age is now 74. Real estate always sounds like a good idea until you have to deal with tenants who smoke indoors, people who just like trash the front yard. Stock market, well, that always sounds good, right? You can say, well, I just can take 100 grand and put it in and make 10 grand a month, until the logic kind of goes out the window, especially when you say, well, I heard that Apple stock's going to rise because I heard this and this, and I heard that they're coming out with this new iPad, and I'm going to put all this money in, until the next thing you know, someone swoops in with $50 million and plays with the market and totally crashes it for no reason. And all these analysts can always go back and look, 5 years prior, and always say, well, of course that happened because this and this. Hindsight's always 20/20. To look in the future is a whole other idea. So, I mean, the only real way I think the smartest way is to basically invest in yourself and build your own business and make your own luck. That way you don't have to always look at the marketplace, or always hope that you get your security deposit back on this and that. But the problem is that when you look into internet marketing, people who really made it big, I don't want to really name names, but some people who made it big, they basically tell you things like, well, just get yourself famous. Just know the right people and just make these goofy YouTube videos and go on Facebook and Twitter and just be this outrageous character like was that Matthew Lesko, the guy with the suit with the question marks? Just be a character like that, and just be such a loud person in organic gardening or in playing the guitar that everyone will notice you, and you get bought out for $20 million by some big company. Well, the problem with that is that for all the success stories like the Facebook and YouTube types of companies that you see get bought out, then there's a bunch of other ones like your Plurk or your Dig.com who just kind of crash and burn, and there you go, 10 years of these guys' lives wasted because they made a website and they weren't looking out for themselves. They got a loan, or they got like a venture capitalist. They built up this company but had no thought whatsoever about making money, and then it was like just like with Napster or like the dot-com bubble, company's gone. So you need to look out for yourself and figure out, if you're not making $1,000 right now, how do you just make your next $1,000? If you're not making $10,000 right now, how do you just get to whatever that next logical step is? And so an easy, fast start is this thing called freelancing. That's how Lance got started, by setting up people's affiliate programs. That's how I got started, by coding people's scripts and plugins and setting things up. That's good for starters, but then after a while you get kind of burned out. So it's good to get yourself out from under a pile of debt, or it's good to pay off the bills, but then at some point it's like, well, this was good to start, but I can't do this for the next 20 years. So what the heck am I going to do? Well, what makes a lot more sense is to instead make basically a way to sell your knowledge that sells on its own, whether you're there or not. And if someone needs to find out how to play the guitar, they find your guitar course, they buy it, it's on there. And then if you want to go in and add anything extra, you can, but worst case scenario, it just kind of sells on its own. That's kind of the dream. So I'm talking about, so there was them, all the people who just kind of lie, and it's fine with taking shortcuts, but they basically cheat, right? They basically hope that by being the loudest, by claiming to make $10 million a month, then that you'll ignore everyone else who's being honest and go for the lie because the lie is bigger. So anyway, I'm sure that you know of at least a few things. You have a few of these skills that are easy for you but hard for others, right? Easy for you but hard for others. And I mean, Lance has this neighbor down the street who's an accountant and knows all these accounting things, like how to save this on your taxes or how to set this up the right way. And he just made basically an information product on how to do this, put it online, made a nice extra supplemental income. So I'm talking about things where it would take anyone else at least a year to figure it out, but you can get them there in 30 days. So I mean, if it was like something like, if we're just doing the accounting thing, if someone wanted to learn how to do their taxes, they might have to go through a few years of losing a lot of money on their taxes. They might have to, I don't know, like read a couple books, take a couple classes, and that's no fun. No one wants to take a class, read a book. They'd rather have you to show them the shortcuts. So we're talking about playing guitar, starting a nonprofit, making a trademark, flipping a house, losing 10 pounds, become a wedding photographer, become a race car driver, home repair. These are all things where you can just show someone something really cool, really quick that can save them from having to read a book or go to school. They just watch a video of you doing it. Zig Ziglar said you can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. Not to say that you have to suffer or you have to lose for someone else to win, but isn't it possible that if you have a skill that you can show people, like playing the guitar, and you can make a certain amount of money from that by doing nothing, by just handing over your quick video or your video series and how to do it, and someone else can shortcut all this extra effort, all this extra work by getting your training, well then isn't it possible that you can win and they can win? It's not this like how in the old days where you had to lose for them to win, or they had to lose for you to win. You win because you sell an extra copy of your information product and you didn't have to put any time or effort or money into that, and they win because they get the shortcut from you. So I mean, that's why having an information business and doing all this is so important, because now you can have this passive income that builds on its own. So I want you to think, as we're about to show this plugin that we have called Member Genius, this idea of a 30-day boot camp where, I mean, having a big thick book or even a report, it's kind of boring. There's only so much you can get with that. If someone gives you 50 tips on organic gardening, I'm thinking, well, I have to go through 50 whole tips? Or if you say, well, here's 50 ways to live healthy, I'm like, well, can I just get the best one or two ways, or what order do I go in? So can you get me over a hurdle tonight? Can you get me to make progress on playing the guitar for 7 days? Can you make me to get me to be able to play at least like one or two songs on the guitar this month, where otherwise that wouldn't have been possible? So here's something I found the other day. A homeless man actually sells a $2,000 class on how to become a homeless guy. So I mean, that's the craziest thing ever. So I mean, if a homeless guy can figure out how to make money by selling his knowledge, then I mean, what's your excuse? So I just wanted to share that with you. That's kind of cool. Applied homelessness, $2,000 to figure out how the heck to do it. So we're talking about how to make yourself incomparable, uncomparable, however you say that, to anyone else. Because if you say, all right, I've got a book on playing guitar, well, great, get in line. You're just like everyone else. And how much does a print book cost? Not $50, not $5. A print book's about $15. DVD, $15. Digital movie like a download, $5. Kindle book, $5 if you're lucky. But on the other hand, so there's those are all like basically the commodities right there. But how much is it to get this home study course of exact step-by-step system that no one else has, with these videos that show you everything you need to get to, all the stuff you don't need to know left out, but the exact things you need to do it in the fastest amount of time are right in there? What if you said, I've got my membership site, I've got my home study course, that if you have anxiety, you have nervousness problems and social situations, breathing issues, you take my course, it's eliminated forever. Well, now how much is that worth? A lot more than $15. Is it $100? I don't know. Is it worth $1,000? I don't know. But now no one can compare you to other people. Now you're apples and oranges. How much to grow huge muscles for your high school reunion? Well, I don't know. What's that worth? What's it worth to wipe the smile off those smug people's faces if I'm trying to show you how to make money from membership sites and get a passive income? Well, how much is it worth to wipe the smug smile off your brother-in-law's face? I don't know, kind of priceless in a lot of ways. So anyway, as we're getting ramped up, you guys know what this is? If you know what this is, can you type in what it is in the question box? I'll give you a second. Basically, Amazon put out a video, and they have this drone, this robot, where they're testing this stuff where, their drone where they can fly books and movies and stuff to your front porch. And I mean, sure, it was kind of a PR stunt. Sure, it's a few years away, but I mean, I thought it was kind of cool. Lance posted it on my wall. Someone says Amazon bullshit delivery drones, and so it's kind of funny that you say that, because I kind of looked around on Facebook, and there was quite a bit of this kind of reaction. So I thought it was kind of cool. Like, cool, this thing flies your house, delivered in 30 minutes. But then people are saying like, America will fall into complete tyranny. Well, here's all the reasons it won't work. It's going to cut my kid's face to ribbons. It's a stupid idea. So all these people who it's not even out yet. They're just like the idea, but the same people who were, when cars came out, I'm sure their ancestors were like, oh, cars are just going to kill people. When planes came out, these people said, oh, planes are just going to crash. So isn't it possible that, well, there are new things all the time, and some will work, some won't. Some things can be used for good, some things can be used for bad, but I think it's more important for us to say, well, how does this affect me? Maybe I can use this to get what I want, and if not, I'm not going to get butthurt. I'm not going to get so enraged about it that I'm going to just, go nuts about this. So, membership sites. Speaking along those terms, double-edged sword, everyone worries about membership sites that, well, if I charge $10 a month, I'm going to have to think of one new tip or one new video. I'm going to have to go to all this work, and I'm basically going to be working at, $1 an hour. I have to do this big chore. But so for now, forget about this idea of a recurring $5 a month, $10 a month membership site. If the reason why you haven't yet done membership sites or haven't completed something is because of this idea of content and you have to generate like 2 years of content, forget about that right now, because if you just buy this stuff called resale rights, you can always start from where someone else has built you a base and then improve it from there if you want. Or just think about this 30-day boot camp. Don't worry about giving people a year of content. Just solve their problems in this first 30 days. Drip content is a fancy nice to have, a nice, bell and whistle, but it's definitely not needed, and Lance and I are using less and less. Discounting your stuff, you've ever heard about this where people say, well, you know what you should do? You should take something that you normally charge $100 for, and you should discount it to $10 a month because people deserve a break because they're agreeing to pay you month to month. Well, you know what? That's how they do business. That's how they read it in a book from 1930, or they heard it from someone who just kind of made it up and passed it along, or it sounded good in theory land, but you don't have to discount your stuff. That's how they do business when they are hurting for money, when they're desperate, when they just need $1,000 because they don't even have that in their bank account. It's not a good idea to discount yourself ever. Now, cost and setup time, if you've been researching, like, well, I have to have membership site with all these features. I've got to have one-click upsells. Are you really going to make use of all those things? Have you seen some of these membership plugins that say, well, we support 100 different shopping carts? Well, I only need one. I'm not going to use WorldPay and CC Bill and Stripe and all these things that get listed out. So, there are all these possibilities out there, but you don't have to get it perfect. And if you let yourself, you're going to get overwhelmed with all the various possibilities. It just makes a lot more sense to get something out there right now, because you never know. Lance and I talked about this 5 minutes before today's call. So many times we'll put something out there and we'll be so excited about stuff and no one will want it. But other times we'll be like, well, I guess this is okay, and it just like blows up and we would have no idea. So many times, the marketplace depends on who you're talking to, where the marketplace is at. They make a lot of decisions for you, and then you can adjust and figure out what's your next move. I put out version 1.0 on my course. That's selling well. I'm going to put out more of that. I put something else out that bombed. I'm not going to do that again. I think about any decision I make. Would an idiot do that? If the answer is yes, I do not do that thing. So membership sites. Well, don't hire a coder for a membership site. Just don't. Someone in the question box mentioned for with the Amazon drones, they said like it's like healthcare in a box or something, right? So if you heard about this site called healthcare.gov, kind of a big like political disaster, and I just looked at it the other day for the first time, kind of looks like crap, right? It's kind of like even the colors are still not quite right, and whatever political opinions and all that aside, it looks like something you and I could have made, and it looks like it could have almost been like a WordPress site. But the thing is, now that some of the information is coming out, the reason why it took so long, cost so much money, is because they started from scratch. They didn't use an existing system, and then that would have made it a lot more stable, a lot faster, a lot cheaper. Something to keep in mind. So use WordPress because you can easily point and click content, add new posts, add new pages, manage users. If you want to add a plugin for like a form or a pop-up, then you can just use WordPress, and then use PayPal. So if you don't have a merchant account, you don't need to get one right now. That's something where you can scale up if you want to. If you already happen to have a merchant account, well then, I don't want to mess with what system you already have going. But for the majority, for 99% of people, you don't need to do anything fancy. Just use a PayPal account. It's free. They take a small percentage, but it's an easy way to start taking payments today. And then to build a mailing list of buyers, use this tool called Aweber. That's Aweber. Now, does it have all these crazy bells and whistles? It has a few, but this is the easiest one that'll get you started up and running right away. So here's the thing, we use this tool right here called WordPress. I have one set up that we're going to be playing around with in a few minutes. You've probably seen this, where you can just go and in your web host control panel, there's an area called Fantastico. You can click install WordPress. Even if not, there's a site called Fiverr. That's Fiverr. For $5, you can get just a blank WordPress site like this set up. And then you can just go and just say, you've probably seen this. You can say new add post, and I want to say, well, I want to make a post that says like, how to start playing the guitar. And you can go here and you can upload a PDF document that you saved from Google Drive. You can add in like a YouTube video that you've set to be unlisted. But either way, you can just say add new thing, publish that. Pretty simple, kind of tough to mess it up. And there you go, boom. Now we have a site with some kind of content on there, right? You've probably seen something like that. So basically, you have WordPress, you have PayPal to take payments, and then you have this tool called Aweber to basically if someone buys from you, then they're now on a list so you can talk to them. And if someone is not yet ready to buy from you, they can join a free list until they're ready to buy. Literally, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of extra dollars every single year are due to us having this thing called an email autoresponder where we can talk to people, where there's a sequence automatically. And as much as people always say like, oh, Facebook, Twitter is taking over, email still is very much needed. So I want to show you how to basically make a private community where you have this idea, you have this 30-day boot camp, you have this skill you can show people. You can show people how to, do their taxes properly, flip a house, play guitar, secure their site, secure their home, whatever the heck it is. And here's what we do: is we install WordPress in a few clicks, so we end up having basically this blog right here. And we're just going to go one step at a time, right? So don't worry just yet about how to protect it, but first get the dang site online so that we can then say, well, I'm going to put some content on here and then I'm going to protect it. Okay, so we install WordPress, and then there's this plugin that we're going to be using called MemberGenius. It installs right on top. You can get it by going to membergenius.com, but don't go there quite yet. Lance said at the beginning of this call, wait until the end to go there, and there's a very important reason why. So MemberGenius is going to be a plugin that installs on top, and then what we can do, just to like make things super simple, is just create one user in our membership site and just hand out the username and password for that one user and reorganize later. And later on, if we want to add bonuses, if we want to add videos, we can always kind of change things up, but this will just get us started, okay? And even if you want to go and add a table and be fancy, we can always make it better. But it's more important to have something online, version 1.0, and later on we can go back and do version 1.1 or whatever the heck it is that we want to do. So, let me let's see. Let me get this going here. So we have this WordPress site online right here. And so maybe you've seen something like this, maybe you haven't, but we can go to the dashboard right here. And here's our dashboard. We can see like what kind of posts we have. We go to our plugins, and right now I have no plugins online other than our MemberGenius membership plugin. So I can click on Activate, and what this is done by activating is now there's this area here that says MemberGenius. So I can click on that, and it'll tell me, and it'll give me graphs and things once it comes up on who's joined my site, how the site's doing, is it growing or dying. And so basically right now we have nothing set up in our site right now, right? So what we can do is I can go to my members and I can say, well, here's me, but I want to add a member and I want to say, well, here's my guitar site. So I'm going to say, well, I'm going to put in the username for guitar, and we'll just put this stuff in here, and I'll just put in my name right here. We'll say username guitar, password guitar, all right? So we'll say to everyone who buys, well, if you want to log into the site, username guitar, password guitar. Here we go. So now we've created this account here, and this might be a little too advanced, but they're on basically this thing called the full level, so they get access to everything. We can go over to our site, and we can say, well, I want to protect this how to start playing guitar from the outside world. So now if someone is if someone happens on my site, they can't view this how to start playing guitar content, but if they're logged in as a full member, I want to be able to show it if they're a full member. So now we say, all right, so there's this full level, and if they are logged in with user guitar, password guitar, they can see this thing about how to start playing guitar. So pretty simple right there. So we can go over to our site, how to start playing guitar. I can log out right here, and then now nothing's found, but then they log back in under user and password of guitar, and then boom, now they see all right, now I can see how to start playing guitar. So uh, that's how we can just very easily set up a WordPress blog, install our plugin here called Member Genius, and click a couple boxes, and then make a one single user on our site, protect whatever post, even just one post on this, and then someone, this basically makes it so if someone has the password, they can see this stuff. If they don't have the password, they can't see that stuff. So we can be really, really basic, and we can say, well, I'm going to manually just make this and manually pass this out to, say, 5 or 10 people. We can get more advanced and say, well, I'm going to charge money, and after they pay me, they can then see that login information. We can do it any way we want. But once again, it's more important just to have something online. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, if like who's like a famous author, like Jack London or something, right? If Jack London writes like the best American novel ever, doesn't matter if he uses like a 10-cent pen or like a $20 fountain pen. It just matters that you have something up and running and going. So pretty simple right there, just in a couple of clicks. If you know which things to click on, which things to know, which plugins to use, we use WordPress and we use Member Genius, and that's it. And we've made one single user that now can get access to this private community. And it doesn't. Once again, it doesn't matter if we film videos on a cell phone, a camera phone, or like a $10,000 camera, or if you write something in for free in Google Drive or in Microsoft Word, save it as a PDF, put it on there. It just matters that you have something and see how it all works and see if it sells and make more of that. And by the way, so we've made this member called a guitar, and the cool thing about things like WordPress is that multiple users can be we can have 10, 20, 50 people logged in at the same time under the same name, and they can all just basically coexist right there. So very simple to create this private community by using WordPress, Member Genius, make a shared user, give them access, and protect the content. Just about 3 steps to get it all to happen. So now I know that some people in the audience are thinking, well, if that simple thing works, now can I get even crazy? Well, yeah, you can, because you know what? The good thing about, and not all membership plugins are made the same. Remember, there's us and there's them. They make it really complicated. But we make it where, well, someone pays you, and this plugin doesn't care if someone paid you $1,000, $10, $50 a month, whatever it happens, they know that they paid you something. You made what's called a button. By the way, there's this tab here for payments, and so you can make basically a PayPal button. So someone can pay you money in PayPal. After they go check out, they can go and make their own username, their own account on your site, and it kind of looks like this. So basically, let's say someone finds your sales letter, they go and they pay you, and it says, okay, I want to make a new account. They fill in this form, and then now they can just use this to log in over and over again. And because it's connected with PayPal, if someone pays you and they refund later, then it cuts off their access. So we might be getting a little too ahead of ourselves. So basically, the point I'm trying to make here, as we're moving along here, is that it doesn't matter how much someone pays you. They pay you, they get this account created. But the really important thing is that Lance and I have tried all these different ways to do it. We made it very simple in that it's only on or off. So it doesn't matter if someone pays you $10, $1,000, one time recurring, a set number of payments. Either they're a member in good standing or not, right? So they've paid you, and maybe they've refunded, which means maybe they paid you $50, and then they said, I want my money back. And online, that's pretty much the standard, like 30 days, 60 days, where you have this grace period where if someone just doesn't like your digital product, you give them their money back, because if not, they can charge back, blah, blah, blah. Very low percentage of people do that. But anyway, they pay money, they get an account. If they get their money back, then their account is now canceled. It's now shut off. Someone can pay you $50 a month, but if they stop paying, if they not necessarily take the money back, but stop that recurring automatic process, then their account is disabled. And so let me kind of show you what happens here. So let's say someone goes and they buy from you, they fill in this form, and then they create an account of their own. So maybe someone goes, and I'll just make a quick user here. We can say, well, maybe our friend Jason Parker goes in and buys from us. Okay, and he joins this full level just to keep things simple. And so now we have this person named Jason Parker right here, and they're on this full level. And so let's say that at some point, if he refunds, right? If they paid us one time and they refund, or if it's a monthly type of process and they cancel, so they stop the auto billing, then what will happen is um, we can say cancel from this full level, basically on its own, because PayPal has the ability to basically call home to dial back. Then this will turn into, well, now it's red, now it's crossed out, now this person Jason Parker, their key doesn't work anymore. They can no longer get into the site, right? So it's, at least for me, as soon as I was able to simplify this and think in those kinds of terms of it's on or off. I don't have to worry about the pricing. Is this going to check every month? No, it's if they stop things, PayPal will send a message to our site and it'll figure things out from there. So this kind of opens things up for you because now you can play around with the price. Now you can say, well, because I have a small list, a small following, small amount of traffic, I can make my guitar course, I can price it at 20 bucks, and then every week make it, now it's 30 bucks, now it's 40 bucks, now it's 50 bucks, and walk it up as I see that it's gaining popularity to $100. But then if I'm worried that maybe not everyone can access this, now I can make a new PayPal button, and I can make a recurring button where it charges them 20 bucks a month for 5 months, then that's it. So we can have fun and we can play with things and do things to kind of stay relevant. I don't want to get too off into technical lands, but we can have a lot of fun as soon as we realize that the only thing the membership plugin cares about is on or off, right? So either they paid us and that payment's still good, or they refunded, well, now they're off. Now they're done. Or they're paying a certain number of payments, and either they are still paying or they completed paying, so they're a member in good standing, or they stop payments, which means they're cut off. None of this worrying about partial content or anything like that. It's like either they're a good member or an ex-member, basically, right? So what we can do to get even more fun is, well, let's say I make my guitar course, and I say, well, okay, you take this course, and I'll show you how to play guitar. So I can go to my levels here, and I can say, well, we're going to say this is like the beginner level. Okay. So now I can say, all right, cool. So this person is on the beginner level. Jason Parker bought, but for whatever reason, he got his money back, didn't like it. So then we can say, all right, well, maybe the reason why this Jason Parker dude refunded was because he was such an advanced guitarist that this was just too simple for him. He needs more advanced stuff. No problem. We can go to our levels. We can say, I'm going to make a new level. I'm going to call this like the advanced level. So we can teach advanced guitar. So we add this new level. And then all we have to do is do whatever is next. Is, record videos or buy resale rights or make a report. And then we can just go, okay, I can go add new post to my site. So like a new entry in the journal, and I can say, well, here's some advanced guitar secrets, and I can put in report, video, whatever it is. I scroll down to my Member Genius area. I say, yes, I want to protect this, and I want to put this on not the beginner level, but on the advanced level. All right, so with me, so we made a level called advanced. We made a new piece of content, a new post. We put it on this advanced level. We can now publish it, and then basically when we go back to our Member Genius area, we look at what content we have, we can say, okay, well, if someone comes to our site, someone came to our site, then they can't see anything. And maybe we could say, well, maybe I want to allow this to the outside world, but whatever, but they can't see anything. If someone logs in as a beginner, well, they can see this how to start playing guitar, and we can add in anything else we want. But if they're an advanced user, well, now they can only see this advanced guitar secrets. So we can have all this extra control of how much we want, and we can sell access to this guitar thing. We can have a special button where they pay, and they only get access to this beginner level. And then we can say, well, once they're in that, once they're done, we can give them a second button to then upgrade to this extra advanced level. And we can even, play around with it and manually say, well, this Jason Parker dude, well, he didn't like the beginner level, but I want to put him on the advanced level. So I can say add to level advanced, and then when this person, Jason Parker, logs in, he will see the content for advanced. So you can have all this control, and I mean, we made it really simple, but you can add in whatever kind of funnel stuff you want. All you have to do is add a new level, and that's a different product you can sell. So you can make 5 different posts, put 5 different videos in there, put them all on an advanced level, and then now that's something new, a new package that you can basically sell. So you can play around with this, and let's say that, well, you can say, well, you can buy my 4-part video course for $100 with whatever bonuses like checklists or bonus reports or bonus meetings. And after someone buys, you can say, well, okay, well, now here's a level to get this $10 guitar playing software, and this will help you, I don't know, tune your guitar. Cool, I want that. And then you say, well, if you get stuck at some point and you want to meet with me to play guitar, it's $2,500 to meet with me for 6 sessions on Skype for an hour each. And you know what? Here's the cool thing about marketing online and selling online is that it doesn't cost you anything to put a button on there. And worst case scenario is that no one buys from the button, and all you have to do is try a new button. So you can say, after someone buys and they can log into this members area, you can always update this. And you can always put in a link to buy your latest product. And they buy that, they get that added to their account. So lots and lots of possibilities. And you can even pull out a piece and make a free site. So let me show you that as well. So we can say, I'm going to go to my levels. I'm going to make a level called free. Okay? And I'll make this, and I'll have this free level. And what I'll do is I'll look at my different posts and I'll say, you know what? I want to give away this how to start playing guitar thing for free. So I'll say, I'll check that level. So now if someone joins this free level basically, then they can get access to this one video for free. So what we can do, and I don't want to go down to the rabbit hole of making a whole tutorial on this, but we can say, well, if someone has these links here, they can register for this particular level. So we can say, basically make an opt-in form, right? Make a form like, use like a tool like Aweber to have a page where someone can fill in their name and email address. They fill that in, and then they call this, I think, like a thank you download redirect page type of dealio. And we can say after they fill in their name and email address, we're going to send them to this page to register for free. They make a new account, and then here we go. Now they can create a whole membership account and get this video for free. So, I mean, why the heck would we do this? Well, what's cool about this is that now they have a place to log in, and they have to keep logging in to check out the video. And if you put in whatever other upsell links or any other one-time offers, things like that, well, then that's something that they now view to get access to that free stuff. So kind of cool how that ends up working. So I mean, out of all the possible ways to handle downloads, sell information products, the easiest way is to have this whole thing of levels, because the levels can overlap. You could have a level give access to everything, have a level get access to one thing, or anywhere in between that, have a level give access to only 5 posts. But you can basically control this protected area any way you want, give away access to something for free, charge $2,000 for one thing, do any kind of combination that you want. And I mean, people who are like authors, speakers, and coaches, they love this, because what you can do is, let's say that you were presenting to a certain kind of crowd, right? So let's say that you were presenting at like the Chamber of Commerce meeting or some live events, or if you were just doing like a guest webinar for someone else, or if someone said, I want to promote you and I want to do a special deal, I want to throw in my special bonus. We've done this all the time. What you can do is you can say, I'm going to make a level, and let's say that, well, we picked on our friend Jason Parker before. Let's say our friend Jason Parker buys the course, loves it, says, I want to teach my people about guitar. So we can say, well, here's a level called Jason Parker Special, and what we're going to do is make a level called Jason Parker Special, and then when we go to our content, we're going to uh, you know, pick and choose certain things, maybe even make a new post that only contains his bonuses and also put it on this level. And then all we have to do is make a payment button where he will pay, and we can even, play around with the price, but they pay whatever prices we set. If it's one time, if it's a fixed term, which means like 5 payments, say, or if it's a forever type of deal, any way you want to do it, it's all that matters is on or off. They pay money, they end up at this Jason Parker special level, and they get access to whatever special package we have right here. So it just makes it easy. It's just point and click. I mean, you can literally have one membership site and sell 100 different things, but you don't have to have 100 different sites, 100 different pages, and all the members are all just in one place. You can just easily have a bird's eye view and see who has access to what things on what date, what they refunded, and even see kind of the growth over time, where we give you like a cool graph on here. So like this, you can see, all right, well, here's who's a member, here's who's canceled. You can say the membership's kind of risen and dropped, whatever it is. We can easily just see what's going on in our site. Lots of possibilities there of making a funnel site. So the final scenario I want to share with you right now today is this whole thing of a coaching site. Okay, so let's say that okay, I have knowledge and skills and stuff like that. We all do. But you don't want to get stuck in this trap of only getting paid $5 an hour, $10 an hour. There's some quote from some, I don't know, some author that's like, your time's worth $1,000 an hour. So if you think about that, well, if you only get paid $500 an hour, you're not getting paid what you're worth. So the cool thing about having an information product, you sell something for $10, $100, you don't have to do any extra work for it, and it makes you more valuable, because if someone wants private access to you, you're not just $10, you're not just $100. That's what the videos cost. But in order for you to trade your time, well, that's a lot more. And you can, I mean, now in worst case, once again, is if you price too high, well, then you don't have to do any extra work, because if no one pays that price, that's fine. If someone does pay you $2,000 for a session, or $2,000 for 6 sessions, well, then that is a situation where you decided how much you're worth, and not how things were as an employee, where someone else decides you're worth $10, right? So let's say I take on a coaching client for, let's just use the guitar thing, named Teresa Wagner, one of our favorite people. Here's what I can do is I can say, all right, well, we've got this person who's going to pay me. Her name's Teresa Wagner, and I'll just say, go to my levels, and I'll say, I'm going to make a membership level called Coaching Teresa Wagner. And I don't want to give access to all posts and pages. So I can say, all right, I'm going to have my level for Coaching Teresa Wagner, and this person, I'm just going to add them as a member. So I'll say add new member. We'll say Teresa Wagner. I'll say there's her name. I'll put in her, whatever her address is. I'll put in some kind of password, and then I'll say, well, this person is on level. So we've made one new level just for this person. We've made a new user account, and they're the only person on this level, right? So I hope you're kind of still with me here. A level called Coaching Teresa Wagner, a user called Coaching Teresa Wagner. No one else has access to this. Well, here's what this opens up for me, is it doesn't even matter what else I have on this site. I can go and I can make new posts here, and I can say, well, if we met on January 1st, I can put in whatever I want. I can put in like a task list, like you need to do this, 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 and this. I can put in a recording of our webinar or of our Skype chat, whatever it is. And when it comes time to protect this content, I can say the only level that can view this is Coaching Teresa Wagner. The only person on this Coaching Teresa Wagner level is Teresa Wagner. So now I publish it, and now I can potentially have 100 different coaching clients that I can just have, and I can see everything on here, but they can only see the private content I've created for them. So, I mean, what's really cool about this is, well, then I can either meet with them one time, or have some kind of recurring standing meeting and get paid over and over again, and get paid what I'm worth, and just post back anytime that something needs to be posted there, so it's all organized in one little section. And Teresa's actually on this call, says that's the ultimate hint that she should get Member Genius. Well, I agree. So that's basically a coaching site right there. And remember how in the beginning where we said, well, if you don't like something, change it. And if you can't change it, change the way you think about it. So, I mean, if in the past you've been, I don't know, maybe even, I mean, let's be honest. We all get angry about stuff. I get angry. I get angry that I don't have 10 times the amount of money I have right now. Make a good amount of money, but we can always get further. And if things like having a membership site, if you were discouraged because it took too long, it's too complicated, you had to do recurring and drip stuff, well, if you want to do that fancy stuff, you can at some point. But just to get started, you don't have to make it as complicated as it previously was. And the way that we've simplified this is with this thing called Member Genius, which I've been showing you today. Use WordPress, and you can then install Member Genius on top of it to make a single payment site. And then you can even get fancy and say, well, I also want to hook this up to my autoresponder. And if someone joins my beginner level, I can just paste in my my sign-up code, and then they will automatically get on this list. So if I ever say, well, here's a new update, then boom, they get the email, they can log back in. If someone joins my free level, I can say, we'll get them on a list in addition, so that way if I have some new promotion, I can email to this list as well. So lots of cool possibilities here to just see who's buying from you, who's done with you, make new products, manage multiple things all in one place, take PayPal payments, hook this up to any different autoresponder. So you can run a fixed term site, which Lance and I love, where someone pays 10 payments or 5 payments, one thing per month, and then once it's paid off, it's done. It's the best of both worlds. It's like people get the payment split up, so that way they can get in at a low price, but it's good for you because it's passive income. You get paid one time over and over and over again every single month. If you really want to have a forever recurring site, remember we said the only thing this cares about is on or off. It doesn't care about the price. Recurring one time. If you want to have a recurring site, you just make a different recurring button. If you want to build a bigger list, no problem. Make a free level, say here's what's on the free level, and then pass out the link to that. If you want to make a coaching site like we showed you, if you want to host all your products in one place, if you want to have a funnel where someone buys one thing, buys the next thing, buy the next thing, it's all just a click away. Just click around, check the boxes, arrange it any way that you want by using this plugin called Member Genius 2.0. It's a WordPress plugin, which means no uploading, editing, no databases required. Just install the plugin and you're started. You can literally host unlimited members. We have a membership site that hosts 11,000 members. You can host unlimited levels. If you want to sell just one product, great. 10 products, 100, 1,000, doesn't matter. Just make a new level and you're good to go. This accepts PayPal payments, and the really important part here is if people refund or they cancel, it instantly cuts off their access to whatever that one thing is that they refunded or canceled. So you don't have to go back and police things and see who has access to what and change download links. It's all just handled automatically. This integrates with literally any autoresponder. And I do mean literally any autoresponder. If you're talking about Aweber, GetResponse, Infusionsoft, whatever it is, if they give you a subscription sign-up form type of thing, you paste it in and it just somehow works. It's our most unique magic thing. It's not like we only support like 10 or 20. Any autoresponder that gives you one of those sign-up forms, this works with it. Now you can personally use it on any personally owned sites and URLs, but I just want to be clear here, you cannot use it on sites and URLs that you do not personally own. So only the sites that you use it on. This comes with a year of updates and support for a total value today right now of $1,782, which you can get by going to membergenius.com. But here's the thing, is it's not $1,782, it's not going to be $997, it's not going to be $497, although there are membership plugins out there that cost $1,000, that cost $4,000, that cost $500 once you get all the add-ons to actually make it work. It's less than $197 to make this work on unlimited levels. It's less than $147 to be able to take PayPal instant payments and cut them off if they refund or cancel. It's less than $97 to handle unlimited members. It's less than $67 to also hook up to any autoresponder. That way you can email your prospects and your buyers to come back and maybe buy or get the latest version or buy the next logical thing. It's not even $47, and it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't like it, you can get your money back. The only catch is that the plugin will no longer work, because if you don't pay for it, it doesn't work. If you do pay for it, it does work, and we're all happy. So here we go. The price for Member Genius 2.0 is just $27 to use on one site. Once again, unlimited members, unlimited levels, any autoresponder, and takes PayPal payments. And I know what you're thinking, what if I want to use this on 2, 3, 5, 10, 100 sites? To use this on an unlimited number of sites that you personally own, it's just $97. So go right now to membergenius.com to get it. That's membergenius.com. So here's the thing, is WordPress, unlimited members, unlimited levels, PayPal, any autoresponder, use it on as many sites as you want. It's $27 to use it on one site, $97 to use it on unlimited sites. So what to do right now is go to www.membergenius.com to secure your spot right now. Click the pay button and send $27 and log into the site to get your access, get your plugin, and then go ahead and install it at membergenius.com. I'll go there right now with you. All right? It's membergenius.com. That's membergenius.com. Here's the list of all the features it does. You go right here for $27 for one personal site, or $97 for unlimited personal sites, and there you go. So the difference right now, as of this presentation, this video, is that to use it on one site is $27. To use it on unlimited sites is $97. No other difference right there. So go right now to membergenius.com. That's membergenius.com, and log into the site. WordPress plugin, unlimited members, unlimited levels, PayPal autoresponder. There you go, membergenius.com. So my name is Robert Plank, and thank you. Go right now to membergenius.com, and we'll see you on the other side.